to be when you're an entrepreneur, when you're in this business, like you got to be self-aware. Like it has to happen. But
you got to be self-aware and you got to have a drive, right? Because a lot of people, I guess when you reach a certain level of success and people start really tapping in with you, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Just like, yeah, I'm certain people like, damn, no boy's killing. They been, nah, we behind scenes, we busting our ass. It ain't no sleep behind this. Yeah. Right? It's really been a whole process and a journey. And a lot of people, they get that misconstrued. Like, so, listen, we work, we grind. But behind these cameras, we getting it in. It's not just sitting right here. There's a lot of, editing and breaking down. A lot of moving parts. A lot behind it. Yeah. But that's the thing, man. I always had that drive. Even as a kid, I 7, 8 years out, I'm out there cutting grass. I'm out there washing cars. I was like, my family used to call me a Jamaican, but I knew, I just knew what it was at the end of the day. Even with the trucking company, I hate driving. I hate driving, but I knew, let me go ahead and put this work in, let me grind, and now I'm good. Now I have a guaranteed contract with Mercedes, $675,000 at a minimum every year.
I was gonna say, I feel amazing. Like entrepreneurs are almost like you're born to be an entrepreneur. Because I'm like you. When I was young, I remember my aunt gave me an entrepreneur book, and then I started like going around the neighborhood, like I'll cut your grass for $5, or I'll do this. Even in my house, but if you don't want to wash dishes, I'll do it for this. And my parents, luckily, they supported it, and they would just pay me, even though these are my chores, but they liked the mindset I was developing. And it's like, ever since then, I was like, I can't work for nobody.
You catch that?
I know I can't. And it was just always in me. So I feel like sometimes it's like it's a natural thing. Like some people are meant to be employees. Right. We need that too, but do you feel like entrepreneurs are born and just not made?
Absolutely, because like you said, it's not for everybody, right? Because again, they see the glamour and the glory. They don't see the back end. You know what I mean? It's a lot of hard sweating. And listen, they think it's easy. Yeah, it's not easy. It's a lot. Shit, I don't feel that a lot. I still, even with money, I still have my days where I be like, God, dog, I don't want to do nothing, right? But
that's even more when you got money. It's hard. You gotta stay motivated. Because in your mind, you be like, I ain't gotta do nothing.
Yeah, I can lay back. You know what I'm saying? But you can't. You gotta keep going. Because me personally, my personal goal is not to make sure my kids are good. I'm talking 5 years generation. Sure. My kids are they're wealthy. Yeah, they're good. They're good. Their kids are good, right? Yeah. I'm talking 5, 6 generations down the line. I want to have. Well, I'm not gonna say I want. I'm gonna have those different bills in the corporation that say 100+ years in service, or serving the community. Like that's my goal. I'm not. I don't care about me. I'm good. If I wanted to drop it today, I can still live the lifestyle that I live now. I'm trying to down the road, right? And that should always be the goal. It's never just now. But you made an important point, like. When I got out of the military, and really like him, my commander giving me an Article 15, taking my rank because I'm trying to do something to better myself, it really spoke to me. And I vowed to myself in 2014, I would never work for anyone else. Yeah. Never. And I never have clocked another time clock. And I meant that. And a lot of people, they stick with the 9 to 5 because it's security. I understand that, but you can secure yourself. Yeah, you can secure yourself. I was talking to, and I keep referring back to yesterday because I did a mastermind last night at one of my mentees' house, and he invited a young lady over who's in the Air Force, and she's like, I'm making $2,500 every 2 weeks, and I had to catch myself. I gave a little chuckle because $2,500 every 2 weeks. What? We make that in a couple hours. Yeah. But she just really didn't understand. She just really didn't know. I'm like, why are you staying? Right? She's like, I want to go through medical school. You can put yourself through medical school. How much is it? $200,000. You can put yourself through medical school, right? And she got so many tools in her bag. She just scared to take that leap of faith. And you have to. You got to step out there. Like all these things that all in my businesses, nobody has ever taught me anything. Yeah. From the trucking to the boat to the government contracting, it was me going out reading, me trying to figure out, me networking. And if I didn't do anything in my life this year, I got in the right rooms, I bet on myself, and I invested in myself, and this changed my life.
I think that's a mindset thing, though, because your mindset going to govern your behavior. Yeah. So you have the right mindset to know once you spot that opportunity, you're going to go after it. Some people don't. Like I was telling them yesterday, for me, I'm going to always take the risk because I can take it. Right. Say I fail. Okay, I'm going to learn from it, and I can always go back to where I was. Right. So why not take the risk? I was telling them it's a risk not to do it.
And it's funny, we've been talking about how like our minds are programmed for entertainment and not learning. Because like, you can watch, you'll watch, movies or whatever it is. But like you said, you went out and studied and got the knowledge. Like sometimes we look at that as boring. But then he broke it down. He was like, but that's so funny. Like, why would we look at that as boring when this is going to change my life? Like, that should be very exciting. You know what I'm saying?
I tell people all the time, like, all of my mentees, and I got over 80 plus mentees, I tell them, cut the damn radio off. You need to be tuning into Social Proof. You need to be turning to EYL. Cut the TV off. Get on YouTube and get into these podcasts. Yeah. Right? If somebody's watching Social Proof and can't start a 6 to 7 figure business, something is terribly wrong.
Yeah.
Because the thing
they be
is,
giving away gems
all day long.
All day long.
No, but what it is execution.
It's execution.
Because you can get all the knowledge. Like, think of all the people that come to these masterminds. Yeah. They'll write all the notes and don't do anything with it. Yeah. So it's the execution part that's that people be lacking.
It's just like, I be wondering, like, what is that thing that, like, why some people it's easy to execute. Like they see it and they like, all right, well, bet I'm going. But some people, it's just so hard to get it. I feel like it's probably a past thing. I don't know. What do you feel like that is for some people? Like,
why?
Some people, they say they want it, but they really don't want it. They look at the money. Yeah, that's what it is to me. When I talk to certain people, and I ask, why you want to be an entrepreneur? Oh, I want the money. If you got that mindset, you already messing up right there going in the door. Yeah. Right? If you're not trying to build and trying to see it longevity, you already coming in the wrong way. Yep. Right? It can't be about the money, but some people, they just don't want it for real. They talk about it. All right, let me get in the room, let me see what they're talking about. And like you said, they'll sit on it. What we did the other day, if they can't take that and like the way Derek broke down that damn ebook,
and then you broke it down in numbers, like you was giving like, listen, this is exactly what you need. Like I'm giving you websites, I'm giving you what you need for certificates, I'm giving you,
and they won't move on it. Yeah. They'll sit on it. They'll scream all day long, I want to be wealthy, I want to be rich, and they'll sit on information. I've had people who paid for my course $10,000 and never logged into one of my Zooms.
No, that's wild.
I promise you.
That is wild.
That's wild.
At least five. Like at least 5 people.
Paid
$10K and never opened up Zoom.
Yeah, that's not your problem.
They never got on.
As long as they don't complain, it's not your problem.
It is what it is. But it's execution, like you said. They just don't. They don't have a drive, like you said earlier. Though it's just not for everybody. Yeah. A lot of people want to be an entrepreneur, but they don't want to put in the work.
Yeah, like you 9 to 5. Entrepreneurship is 24/7.
Oh yeah,
24/7.
Like
your phone ring, you like, what's good? What's going on? What's cracking? I want to step back a little bit to when you, so after you got the boat and after you rented it to the guy for the first time, kind of talk about those beginning steps, that process of really formulating your business for your boat rentals. So
again, I didn't have anyone to teach me. So it was a lot of trial and error and me just learning by mistake. So I think like the first thing was like my boat safety certificate. I had already had it because like I said, I've already owned boats. Yeah. But I didn't remember the rules of the road. So I had to go back and resurface that. But it was this, I don't know. It came to me easy because again, I come from, the business, but me scaling it was, I used what I had around me to scale it. Meaning my office is sitting on the wharf, right? Next to me, I have a whole lot of apartment buildings. I got hotels. I got these restaurants. I have all these high traffic areas. So all I did was take my brochures and I put on my suit because, young man looking like me coming in talking about what he got, they ain't really hearing it. So I put on that suit and that tie and I started going into the hotels. I wanted to meet the concierge. How you doing, sir? How you doing, ma'am? I'm Shaod. I own a boat and jet ski rental company here, right next door to you. Actually, I wanted to, offer my services to you and your guests. Not only offer the services, I want to extend a discount to you all. For you and your employees, I like to give you 25% off, and for every guest that you send my way, I like to get them 10% off. Yeah. So what I do right there, I built a relationship while also having them advertise and promote for free. Right? Because not only are they going to advertise to the clients that are in the hotel, they're also going to advertise to their friends and family. Yeah, because as soon as a family come in or as a client come in, they're going to be like, oh, what is there to do in the area? Exactly. And that's why I went to the concierge. As soon as we, like you said, as soon as we go to a new state, yo, where can I eat at and what is to do here in the city? Right? So that took off for me. And then I would start hitting up the high trafficked areas, the bars, the restaurants, and then I'll hit the apartment buildings, getting them the same thing. Go in there, talk to the GM. Yo, I got the service. I want to offer it to you. Can you send an email blast to to your residents. You talking 400 or 500, units in the building. So it was a no-brainer. But here's the thing, and I always suggest people to start the business where there's no other competition in the room, right? Because in the area, because you pretty much control the market. It's monopoly. So for me in DC, I'm the only one in DC with the jet ski rental company. So it's monopoly for me. I run the market. Right. Not only that, because there's no rules or regulations governed around boat rental, I was able to sit down with the council members and write the law govern around the boat rental company. So wild. It put me into so many different doors, right? Yeah. But now I got it on lock. I got the jet ski on lock. I'm the only one in DC. So
I was gonna say, go ahead.
I also love how you was talking about how you foster these relationships.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
How you keep people in mind like when you was out of town and bring them back.
Let me tell that story real quick for the people.
Relationships.
So and that's with anything that you do, man. You can't, again, like I said earlier, if you're about the money, then you might as well not do it, because the relationship is bigger than the money. Because when you build a genuine relationship, the money will then flow and come, right? So like where I'm at in DC, it's owned by the government. The government doesn't want anyone to do any type of chartering from the dock, because they may be held liable if someone was to slip or fall on the marina. So again, me just being who I am, every time I go, to the marina, I will always go and speak, and what I'm saying, I do little things, bring bottles of water or Gatorade, because I see the men out there all day in the heat. The GM, I realized he always smoked cigars, and so I took a trip out to the Dominican Republic one weekend, and I seen cigars, and I spent, I don't know, $10-15. I thought about them, and when I got back, I handed them cigars, and you would have thought the man ain't never had a cigar a day in his life. But it meant a lot to him. And again, because you're not allowed to conduct, at the marina, it would be times I would be walking past and he'll just smile at me like, "Shaod, go get that money, baby." Yeah. Right? Somebody behind me. And I don't see, even one of my boys, he hit me, was like, "Man, I got a letter saying that if they catch me doing charters again, they're going to terminate my lease." So that genuine bond that I built with him and the staff, it's allowed me to stay where I'm at and do what I'm doing, making money, right? So, real quick, a quick testimony, right? I had this guy that I met about 2-3 years ago, and he used to show love on Instagram. All like, "Man, I'm proud of you, da-da-da." So I finally met him one day. I was dropping off a crew on the dock, and he ran up to me like, "Shaod, like, da-da-da-da." So I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm glad you're here. I see you out here a lot. You out here partying with the chicks. You got your liquor. You're doing your thing, baby. But you ain't making no money. Yeah. How about you do exactly what you're doing right now and make money while doing it?" And I probably begged this dude for like a whole year to get into the business, right?
That's crazy.
Long story short, I ended up teaching him the whole business. Dude make probably like $60K in less than 2 months. So this past weekend, I had an event in DC where I took out all my boats or whatever, and I ended up having more people show up than they weren't supposed to. So I hit him like, "Yo, I need you to use your boat. Is it rented out?" He's like, "Nah." I said, "How much you gonna charge me?" He said, $1,100. I said, "This for me." He said, "For you, I'd knock off 200, 900. I stopped. I ain't say it to him, but I stopped. I said, "All right, cool. I appreciate it. I'll let you know." You talking about somebody that can call me on my personal phone 11, 12 o'clock at night. I'm in the midst of teaching him government contracting. I got over 10 million in government contracting. I'm in the midst of teaching him how to go out and get this. Not only that, I taught you the whole boat rental game for free. Yeah. Last year you made $60K. You're well over 6 figures this year. You gonna charge me? And it's not about the money. It's the principle.
Yeah. As soon as you say how much charge
you just burnt a whole relationship, bro. Now you're gonna have to go out and pay somebody to teach you the rest of the government contract, because there's a lot behind it. But also, you would never be able to pick up the phone and call me for anything. He reached out to me on my way out here. "Oh, I heard about what you were saying on live. I wanted to talk to you about that. We don't have nothing to talk about.
Yeah. I would say he dropped the ball, but in this case, he dropped the boat.
He dropped the boat.
He dropped everything because, again, and this is my circle of my people.
Yeah.
Right? I just had over 13 millionaires in D.C. You supposed to be right beside me trying to network with everyone on that stage.
If anything, so question for you.
And my bad, and this off the strength of, I'm assuming you taught him this for free. Why would he even charge? Like, I got you.
That's what I'm saying. So what? Like, so your response from him, you asked him to see what he was going to say.
Well, it wasn't really to see what he was going to say. It was just really, it was last minute. I just wanted, what is it?
Oh, but you didn't really realize until after you.
I didn't realize until I got off that phone. I was like, damn, he really told me $900, and I said, and I reiterated. I said, bro, this is me. Like, this my people. I need it. And he still
think you're gonna be like, oh, my bad, bro. Hey, yeah.
And see, I'm never the type, like, I'm not the type to be like, all right, you're gonna do it for free, and I'm gonna take it for free.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take care of your staff. I'm gonna make sure you got fuel in there, and I'm gonna take care of it. Yeah. Because guess what? I got 8 boats in DC. If you ever call me like, Shaod, my shit went down, you got a boat over there for you? You think I'm about to charge you? Do you think I even have to go out of my way and say, bro, make sure you put gas, make sure you clean it up? I don't have to tell you that because you're my boy. Yeah. Right? I already know it's going to be taken care of. It's not, again, it's not about the bread.
Yeah.
It's the principle.
Yeah, it's
right?
the principle, yeah.
Because you can call me like you do with anything else. You can call me and I'm going to take care of you. Right? But now there's no longer that.
Yeah.
Relationship, like,
relationship is key.
The money will come.
Yeah.
Like, we learn good work in relationships will take you far. Like, all the work we put in got us all the relationships now that we build. And like the first conference he went to,
that's when I met Neo, and then I met Corey, and then I met Ellie, and then that's where I met Jaleel. Then Jaleel came and did the podcast. After he did the podcast, he invited me back to Atlanta. Went back to Atlanta, had the dinner, met Brandon. Brandon invited us out here. We met you. You know what I'm saying? So it just like now it's like when we start building and more revenue come in, we like, hey, yo, Shaod, we was talking about that boat stuff. Hey, we need to sit down and talk about that now. We ready. You know what I'm saying? So
straight up, like the money got to be out of the equation, right? And I'm not telling you do anything for free or whatever, but you can't. And this is like probably the number one way to drive your business under, trying to get rich overnight. One deal. Right. The over the weekend where we did our venue at, these people charged me like almost $40,000, right? Mm-hmm. And I told this guy, I said, listen, I do events all the time. Yeah, I got a lot of millionaire friends who come to DC and they do events. This is a perfect spot. Do you think he tried to work with me? Not that I was looking for the discount, but just the way he carried everything. And I had to put him to the side and let him know, listen, I know you old time, but listen, my guy, right now you should be worrying about branding and networking and building clientele. That money should be out the window, because guess what? You're going to get my little bread this weekend just because I need it. I'm 2 days out, so I got to do it. But you will never have my business again. Yeah. If I could have canceled it right then and there, I would have canceled it just to show him a lesson. The conversations that y'all had with Derek yesterday, I'm certain y'all don't got some game where it's going to make you some money. Sure. Yeah, you're going to make the money on the back end. You ain't got to be up front. You're going to make it on the back end.
Yeah.
But it's that relationship to even get that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I always tell people when they ask, like, about entrepreneur, I'm like, make sure you're passionate about it.
For sure.
You love it, because that's going to help you get through them dips or those bad times. Because, like, when we started, first 2 years, we did everything free.
No money.
We make no money. Right. First 2 years, but it was the passion and the love of it.
People asked us to come do a show. Yeah, whatever. We'll come do it.
We'll come get the exposure, get more fans. Like, we did all the college shows with Georgia State when we was in Atlanta. We did everything. I'm talking about every show they had, we would do it. 800 people. You know how much fans that brought us to help blew us.
But look where you at now, though.
Yeah,
right. Look where you at now.
It's like especially to be living in LA for the past 8 years. I mean, that's a blessing, because we done seen people come go, and we know how it is. But now we trying to just scale it even further. So for the people who are listening, when it comes to the boat rental industry, what are some things that maybe like the top, kind of break it down a little bit how you broke it down for us, like tell them how much money they may be thinking they need to grab a boat, or just a light starting point, or know.
A lot of people, when they hear the word boat, right, they automatically think, oh, I gotta have 100,000, right?
I mean, that's what you do think. You see the boats, you be like, yeah, I gotta.
But you don't need the big old mega yachts like people think. I actually recommend everyone getting the bow riders, the BOWRIDER. The bow riders, you can fit 6 to 10 people on those, or the pontoon. Like the bow rider is just like Toro. If you want to let the customer go out by themselves, they already have their boat safety certificate. They know how to drive the boat. You hand over keys, you let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Whereas passive for you land back and do nothing. I personally like the pontoons. The pontoons, I like that because I can scale it a little bit more because I always do my whole script. Stop going to the club. Stop going to brunch. Bring that same vibe to the water. Do everything that you're doing in these clubs and the brunch, and do it here on the water because on the pontoon it's like a couch, right? So you bring that same vibe. Speaking of that, COVID hit last year, 2 years ago, whenever it hit. I thought the business was going to drive down.
Yeah, because you like, oh man,
up.
Oh of course,
right? Again, me coming from the club background and me seeing and hearing that the clubs and shut down, I was like, come on out on the water for 2 hours, $1,000, because that's what the tables are going for in DC.
Yeah.
But mine is the bottle. You're not gonna get a bottle. You want a bottle? I'm gonna sell you the bottle. So I don't scale it. You came to spend $1,000. By the time I'm done, you don't spend $1,400-$1,800 with me in 2 hours. And then the thing with that is, half of the time people already came drunk. They were already lit. So they get out there for 30 minutes. They ready to turn back around because they don't got sick and some more.
And how many of those rides would you do like in a weekend?
Those would be. I started just for Friday, but because it went, I had to do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we were making an extra 3 bands just off of 6 hours of working.
Yeah.
But back to what I was saying about the boats. You're gonna make more money with a smaller boat that costs less than a bigger one unless you're in an area where they just got the bread. Like here in LA, I wouldn't tell you not to get a mega yacht because you got the celebrities, you got everyone who has bread here. But if you somewhere in DC like I am, I wouldn't recommend getting that mega yacht because how many people do you know really have 5,000 or 6,000 to come and rent? When I do my price structure, I always think about the club prices. I always think about breaking it down $100 a head or $120 a head. So on my pontoon, you could fit 10 people on there. So I'm like, all right, bet $1,200, $120 per person. Who can't pay that, right? Everybody got at least 8 people, an additional 8-9 people they can put together to rent it out. And then I learned about the whole scaling thing because in the boat world, a half day is like 4 hours, a full day is 8 hours. So when we started to sell out, I was like, man, I gotta figure out a way, but we can't start early. So what I did was instead of doing 4 hours, I broke it down to 3 hours. But I didn't move my price. When I first started, I was at $630, $450. And so what I did was I was like, I can't do $634. It ain't no money for. I was making that in the streets. So what I did was I was like, a lot of people love to drink. Ain't nobody coming out on this boat and they not gonna drink. So I added an alcohol fee. That's how I got up to my $830, $450 because you want to bring alcohol, bet $200. I don't care what it is, wine, $200. They were panning like nothing. I was like, I can get this $830 and $4. I can go up a little bit more. So then I bumped it to the $1,200, and that's just what it been $1,200 for 3 hours.
1,200 3 hours. And then how? So I want to do the math for the people here right now. So you said $1,200 for 3 hours. All right. So
and we doing that three times a day.
Okay, $1,200 for 3 hours is all right. $3,600. You doing that
3 times?
Three times a day
at a minimum. So sometimes it's 4. That's $3,600.
So that's $10,800 for the day. And how many days you doing that?
We work 7 days a week.
Times that 7 days a week. People that's $75,600.
So now do that times 3 usually in a month. 3 weeks in a month.
Times about 4 weeks in a month.
Well, I'm just saying.
It's time 3. So that's $226,000.
And that's in DC.
That's in DC.
Now times that by 12.
Yeah, but now let's times that.
Look, that's 12. In DC, right? I got a whole yacht in Mexico.
And I wanted to get to that. I was gonna wait till you finish this point. I was like, you seized that opportunity too because I know DC's seasonal. Because it's gonna get winter. You can't take the boats out. So let's talk about it now.
So Mexico, I was over.
And also that was 2.7.
I was in Mexico. Sorry, I was in Mexico on vacation, and as I was walking on a dock, I seen a for sale sign. I was like, oh shit, I might can go ahead and do this. Because I've always thought about it. I was like, well, I'm not over there.
What part of Mexico?
Cancun.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm not over there. I can't do that.
Yeah.
For sale. I call the guy. I'm like, yo, I'm interested. How much you want? He was like 375, 380 something. So I'm like, can you meet me out here tomorrow? And so I call up a surveyor and a mechanic. For those of you that are looking to buy used boats, you always need to have a boat surveyor, which they're going to go throughout that boat, touch it, let you know any and everything that's wrong with it. Your mechanic is there to go through your engines, right? So I got those guys to come out the next day, and they like, man, it's good. It's golden. I will get it. So we did the deal right then and unexpectedly. Did the deal right then and there. The team the boat that I had rented out the day before, I reached out to his company and I told him, like, listen, I got this. I want to join forces with you all. You know, over there in Mexico, they making $300 to $400 a month. So I went in. I'm like, listen, I'll pay y'all $50 an hour. Your captain $50 an hour. I'll pay you 20% of what I bring in. I charge $2,400 for 3 hours over there. That boat is going out 4 times a week at a minimum, 3-4 times a day. So we killing over there. I already made my money back a long time ago. I bought that back in March. So everything now is straight profit for me. So international waters, what's good about that is it's not seasonal, right? And majority of the time, when it's winter here, where do we go? We're going overseas, right? We want to go where the blue pretty waters at, where it's hot at. So it's a no-brainer. Like, I'm tearing it up. I'm going to Puerto Rico next month. I got a condo over there. So I'm about to go over there, set up shop over there. Bahamas, my boy is from the Bahamas, so we about to see what's up over there. DR, I went to Punta Cana, I think. I didn't see too much over there, but I'm gonna take another trip back over there and see what's going on with that. Like, I'm taking over, bro.
The funny thing about my dad, so I'm Bahamian. My dad worked for the Bahamas Tourist Office, and his department was boating and all that. So he know all the boating people. He used to always take the people out on boats. So that's crazy. Like I was about to say,
when you go to Bahamas, he gonna link you with his pop.
Straight up. If you got any questions about the boat, he know
straight up. Because the thing is, like I said, it's all